Well, hi there, everybody, and good morning. Rabbi Leah here with you for another episode of Hi There with Rabbi Leah. Beautiful day outside today. Moda ani lefanecha. I am grateful before you, oh God, for allowing me to wake up this morning, allowing me to feel healthy and energized and virus free. And we can't be thankful enough these days, right? For little things and big things. So today is December 21st, and we are 10 days away from the end of the secular year. And I have kind of a fascination with calendars. I don't know if there is a name for this. It's not quite a fetish, but it is a fascination. And I love calendars. I love new calendars. I love being able to write in them and put things in them, and I save them um, as a kind of a diary or a journal of my life over the past year. And I wanted to share a few things with you today, not only about calendars in general, but about the Jewish calendar, because even though we are starting a new secular calendar, we are not starting a new Hebrew calendar. We are continuing on. But there are some similarities and mostly differences, and it's about that. Uh, that's what I'd like to speak about today. So, for many years now, since before I was ordained as a rabbi, I've been using both a secular calendar and a Hebrew calendar. And although the secular calendar is more useful on a day to day basis, I think the Hebrew calendar is far more fascinating because it is a calendar which really accentuates what's going on in the natural world. And one of the most basic examples of that is that when we switch to a new month, not only do we honor that new month by saying special prayers for Rosh Chodesh, which means the Rosh is your head of the month, Rosh Chodesh, like Rosh Hashanah, the head of the year. But additionally, we can see um, not meteorologically, because that has to do with weather, but astronomically, uh, through what's going on in the sky, that it is a new month. So even if you don't have a calendar handy, just by looking up in the heavens, you know um, where you are in the month. So during Hanukkah, which started on the 25th of Kislev, we changed to a new month because Hebrew months are either 28 or 29 days. And Hanukkah ended on Thursday night of this past week, so just a few nights ago. And Friday was the last full day. But on let me figure out what night it was of Hanukkah, on the Wednesday night of Hanukkah was Rosh Chodesh, and it became a new month. It is the month of Tevet now. We would spell that Tevet if we were to spell it using our English alphabet. Um, and so we are now in the month of Tevet. And today, the 21st of December, excuse me, the 22nd of December actually marks the first day of a new solstice. We observed the winter solstice last night, and that meant it was the shortest amount of sunlight available on any day. And now every day is going to get a little bit longer in terms of the amount of daylight that we have, which is a good thing because so many people really hate it when we do the time change and it gets dark so early. And sometimes you reach a point where you're getting up and it's pitch dark and you're going to sleep earlier in the day because it's already dark out. But if you looked up in the sky on the 1st of Tevet, which was uh, last Wednesday, you would have noticed that there was practically no moon in the sky. It was a new moon, a Rosh Chodesh, and it would have been pretty darn dark out. And where I live in San Elijo Hills, I get fabulous night skies because there's not a lot of light around here to disrupt. And the constellations were incredible. So I love the Hebrew calendar because with these 28-day, sometimes 29-day months, you get a much more accurate look at the sky, uh, the the phases of the moon, and so on. And in 2 weeks, on the 15th of Tevet, which will be around the 30th of December, you will see a full moon in the sky. And you will know that it is about the 15th of the month because we always have a full moon around the middle of the month. So this year I'm using two different calendars, one of which is a Jewish calendar for 5781, and these are published by Carben, and every year I get myself a new one. And the great thing about these is that they start in you get them in August. So it's usually at least a few weeks or possibly a month and a half before the High Holy Days to really start doing some planning. Sorry about that glare on this. Let me see if I can. There we go. Okay. And the nice thing about this calendar is that it shows, of course, all the Jewish holidays. It shows all of the Torah portions so that I can prepare in advance for reading Torah. Although I pretty much know them by heart in order now since I've been reading Torah for so many years. And it shows Rosh Chodesh when the new moon is. It shows the fast days and so on. This one, though, is I would consider to be more of a lay person's Jewish calendar because there are others that are far more detailed because they will have the specific prayers for any given day. They will have all of the um, fast days. They will have specific times for every time zone as to when a fast starts and when candle lighting starts and so on. There are some fabulous online Jewish calendars that are great. So in the very back, there is a chart, which I don't think you're going to be able to see in much detail because it's pretty tiny, but it shows the Shabbat candle lighting times for major cities throughout the United States. And it does not have San Diego, but it does have Los Angeles. Of course, I can look up San Diego to see exactly what time Shabbat candle lighting should be. And we are now in the month of December, and this coming Friday night is December 25th. Yes, Christmas Eve is on a Shabbos this year. What can I say? Not that that necessarily pertains to us. And here, candle lighting will be at 4:32 p.m. Now, Shabbos candles are lit 18 minutes before sundown actually takes place. So if you didn't know that, that's just a little piece of trivia you might put in the back of your head so that you can share it at the next cocktail party you go to. 18 minutes before sundown. So sundown this coming Friday night will actually be at 4:50 p.m. We back that up by 18 minutes and we light our candles at 4:32. So when I'm lighting candles in the buildings at 4:30 p.m. and 4:45 p.m., I'm actually pretty close to the halachic time for lighting candles. We, of course, fudge a little bit because I have 4 buildings to get to, and because we eat our dinner earlier, and so on and so forth. Okay. The following week, however, when we get into the first week of January, and the first Shabbat of January this year is January 1st, candle lighting is at 4:37. And so you see, candle lighting is getting a little bit later because sundown is a little bit later every week until we get to, let me see, the latest candle lighting will be on June 25th and July 2nd. And on both of those nights, candle lighting is at 7:50 p.m. So literally almost an hour and a half after it is right now. So I'm looking forward to those long, lazy days of summer. When I lived in Seattle, because Seattle is so far west and so far north, candle lighting is significantly later. And so if you go to, let me see if I can find a northern, well, let's go to Toronto, for example. Toronto candle lighting is at 8:45 p.m. So you could see, the farther north we go, the longer the days. And when I was a rabbi in Seattle, it was very difficult to do a Saturday evening wedding because sundown would happen so late on a Saturday night, and because Havdalah is done 45 minutes after sundown, anywhere between 45 minutes and an hour and a half after sundown. And so by the time Shabbat was over, and by the time you'd done Havdalah, you might not be starting a wedding until 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night, which didn't make a lot of sense. So we used to do a lot of Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon weddings in Seattle during the summer when Shabbat went out so late. Okay, so I have 2 different calendars that I use, as I mentioned, a Jewish calendar for daily use. And if I need something more exacting, I have other resources, online resources. There's a wonderful calendar called hebcal.com that I actually have the app in my phone, and I'm able to look up times and Torah readings and anything else that I need. I use this one for daily use. And then I have a secular calendar, which this year I got through a company called Erin Condren. And I love it because they personalize it for you. And oh, I look at that. It matches my glasses today. I had no idea. Look at that. I picked this particular pattern because it shows the continents. When I bought it, I thought it was just a watercolor, and when I opened it up, I realized that it's the entire planet Earth, and that keeps me reminded that I am a member of a world community, and that I am concerned for the entire world and not just our little tiny piece of the world over here in LA somewhere, or in San Diego somewhere. Okay. Sometimes it gets a little confusing using these 2 calendars. But since I'm also responsible for the religious calendar for Seacrest Village, I am often called on by various departments to find out, can we do something on a certain day? Do we have to wait till that evening? Is it a quiet day, meaning that we don't have activities, we don't have entertainment because it is a full holiday, and so on and so forth. Okay, so There are some who believe that between Hanukkah and Purim, not much goes on in the Hebrew calendar. And there are some who believe that between Purim and Pesach, there's not a whole heck of a lot that goes on in the Hebrew calendar. And that we have these chunks of time during which there's really, if it's not during the fall holidays or the spring holidays, that there's nothing significant that happens. And I'm here to tell you that that's not the case. Because if the rabbi can't keep you up on what's going on in the world of the Jewish calendar, then who can, right? So this year, the 10th of the month of Tevet falls on Christmas Day. Just so happens. It's not that way always because our Hebrew calendar goes according to a different system of months, and there is a fast on that day. There is what we call a half fast, because it begins at dawn and it goes until sundown. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what this fast is about and why we observe it. So let me tell you a little bit about this fast day. Here's what it commemorates. In the year 589 to 587, so over a 2-year period, and this is before the Common Era, so we count backwards, we don't count up, we count down the years. There was a destruction of the temple in Jerusalem and the fall of the kingdom of Judah. Now, at that time, Israel was separated into two different kingdoms, Judah in the south and Israel in the north. And this took place in Jerusalem. And this was our old friend, King Nebuchadnezzar, Babylonian king came in and destroyed Jerusalem, plundered Solomon's temple, and put a vassal king in place. Now, these kings were they were selected by these foreign rulers to basically do their bidding. And that vassal king was Zedekiah. He was only 21 years old, so he was a young pisher. You'd think he didn't know what he was doing, but evidently he entered into an alliance with Pharaoh Hophra of Egypt, and they rose up against Nebuchadnezzar. Unfortunately, they were not successful, and so Nebuchadnezzar responded by invading all of Judah, which was the southern kingdom, and he began a siege of Jerusalem in December of 589 BC. And during that siege, which lasted either, they don't know, 18 months or 30 months, because there are different accounts in various notes in the Bible. The city endured horrible deprivation, plague, and starvation, and so on. After 11 years of Zedekiah's reign, Zedekiah being this vassal king that Nebuchadnezzar put in place, Nebuchadnezzar broke through Jerusalem's walls, conquering the city. And Zedekiah and his followers attempted to escape, but were captured on the plains of Jericho and taken to Riblah. And there, after seeing his sons killed, Zedekiah himself was blinded, bound, and taken captive to Babylon. So when we read in the book of Lamentations, which we read on Tisha B'Av, by the rivers of Babylon, there I sat and wept. This is the story of this destruction of the temple in 589 to 587 BCE. And we fast in memory of the destruction of and the plundering of the temple, and in the horrific conditions in which the people were made to live. Many of them were taken captive to Babylon, never to return again, and their ancestors to never return again. And we know that even nowadays, in countries from which people are fleeing as refugees, uh, should politically things become more stable in their countries of origin, they do not often go back. And so this is what happened with the Israelites. Many of them did not go back to the land following their captivity to Babylon. They stayed and they made their lives there. So uh, let me see if there's anything else. Some of them went to Egypt. They fled to Egypt for safety because at that time Egypt and Israel had this alliance, and they settled in Migdol. Kind of uncertain what Migdol is, what the Bible is referring to, but it was probably somewhere in the Nile Delta. So if you're going to go to Egypt, you're going to go to the Nile Delta where it's fertile and crops grow and you're more liable to eat. So the 10th of Tevet is one of these what we call minor fast days. We have two major fast days in the Hebrew calendar, which are which are Yom Kippur and Tisha B'Av, and both of those days start in the morning or in the evening before and end the evening after. They are full 25-hour fasts. And then we have minor fast days, such as this fast of the 10th of Tevet, which begin at dawn and end at sundown. So that is this Friday. So if you want to fast, I don't recommend it because most of our residents are not supposed to be fasting. You may certainly do so. Okay. In the month of January, on the 15th of the month of Shvat, we have Tu B'Shvat, which is the new year of the trees. And I'm not going to go into detail about that now because I'm planning some programming for Tu B'Shvat, which I hope you will participate in. It is a wonderful holiday, a fun holiday. You get to eat, you get to have a Seder, you get to plant stuff. So those of you who are agriculturally minded and horticulturalists, and I know there are many of you among us who love to plant things, we will be observing Tu B'Shvat. Okay, so that comes this year on the 28th of January. All right. So I'm going over these just to show you that we're going to be busy over the next few months. And don't forget that Rosh Chodesh starts, that there's a Rosh Chodesh, a new month, every month of the year. So I will be bringing those to your attention as well. We will most likely be doing something also in the month of January for Martin Luther King Day, and probably including some special things in the Shabbat that precedes that Monday. Okay. In February, we have Purim, and Purim is considered a minor holiday, although we kind of make a big deal about it. It's a minor holiday because it's not mentioned in the Torah as because it came significantly after the Torah was written. But we do celebrate Purim and Shushan Purim. And there is another fast in the month of February, the fast of Esther, because Esther fasted before she went to the king to ask to let him know that she was a Jew and that that Haman and his sons were bent on destroying the Jews. And we also have a couple of special Shabbatot, special Sabbaths, that fall in the month of February, in the month of Shvat and Adar, namely Shabbat Shkalim and Shabbat Zachor. So all of these are wonderful things that I'll be talking about, and I hope you will continue to join me for these, whether I'll be going live with them or whether you'll be watching me through the magic of your TV. I don't yet know. Okay, in March, we have a biggie. We have Pesach, which falls in March, and I think I have mentioned to you on a number of occasions that Pesach, which falls in the month of Nisan, is actually the beginning of the Hebrew calendar. Nisan is the first month of the Hebrew calendar. And the first day of the month of Nisan this year is March 14th. The holidays are early. So I put that in quotation marks because the holidays fall exactly when the holidays are supposed to fall, which is in the month of Nisan. We say early or late based upon our secular calendar. This year, we searched for the Chometz on March 26th, and the first Seder is on Saturday, March 27th, and Passover goes through the end of March and ends on Sunday, the 4th. That is Yizkor for Passover. So I'm bringing all of this to your attention because we are at the end of December, and between now and the end of March, we've got a lot coming up. And if you have any interest at all in the Hebrew calendar, any interest at all in learning some additional little trivia ideas about what's going on in our Jewish world, I ask that you continue to join me. I'll be doing schmooze meetings with all of the different communities in Seacrest. I have dates on the calendar for January and beyond. So please continue to join me. I hope to make it fun, interesting, informational, and I always learn from my teaching because I get to do additional research to bring to you. So I hope you will take advantage of that. I hope you will continue to join me. Just so that you know, the remainder of this week, this program today will show not just this morning, but also this afternoon, Tuesday afternoon at 2 o'clock. And then maybe we'll schedule it to show a couple more times so you'll get this introductory information to the Hebrew calendar. And then, of course, Friday evening blessings, Saturday morning Shabbat services. I'm going to ask you all to stay put. Do not leave the building unless it is absolutely necessary. No shopping trips, please. The stores are mobbed. I'm calling them petri dishes because you go into a store right now and you are exposing yourself to everybody and anybody who may or may not have been careful. So please, if you need something and it is an emergency, speak with your building director, speak with your life enrichment people, and make sure that we know what you need so that you're not going out there to get it yourself. We are so close to this vaccine that it would be absolutely catastrophic for any one of our residents to test positive for this virus. So please do everything within your power to stay put. Today I am collecting all the trivia answer sheets for the Hanukkah Trivia Contest, and I will keep you posted on who the winners are. You should have that information either at the end of this week or the very beginning of next week. So I'm going to leave you with happy Tevet, everybody. Happy month of Tevet. And Lehitraot. Please tune in for Chai there every week. And Lehitraot from me. I'll see you later. Bye bye.